Hey guys, it is I, Becca Lori Hector, here back in my office. I am feeling a lot better. I continue to recover from burnout. So I'm having like a good day, followed by a bad day, followed by a good day. And it's sort of that roller coaster of recovery where one good day and then I'm exhausted, and then another good day and then I'm exhausted. And eventually, I hope that I will be feeling totally better, which I think that I can do. And I wanted to really talk about how I plan to do that for myself. So that's what we're going to talk about that today. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about sort of how I reprioritize as I was going through this burnout period, and where I ended up and that kind of thing, and how I made choices about that. Because I think when we come through a burnout, what we need to realize is, hey, Bernard, hey, Burnett, is that what we have to realize is that, we didn't get there by accident. So something in the way that we were making choices, or the things we were doing with our time, um, weren't right. Like they weren't on point choices, because it led us to this, like, I mean, burnout is the ultimate spoon depletion. It's like, I don't know, we're in the negative spoons now, right? And so something has had to happen to trigger that situation in your life, right? So we want to go back as we're recovering from burnout and think about what we did and what we want to change and why. Right. So that's something I've been working on as I have been coming through this burnout. And it's something that I've talked to you guys in brief snippets about, but I really want to get into today. Sorry if my voice is a little bit tired sounding. I just finished unit 3, which is the live run through, the last unit for the last live run through of the course. And so I'm having a little, right? Anyway, on we go. So let's talk about this thing. So something got me into burnout in the first place. And when I looked back on it, what I realized is I started to break my own boundaries. I started taking appointments later in the day than I like to, more days a week than I like to, on days of the week that I like to have off. Right. And breaking my own little rules for myself about what I do to conserve my spoons. And I did it, and you can do it for a little, right? And you pay a small price for it in there. But if I do it for any extended periods of time, burnout. And I did it for a couple of months, and then I was doing it, and it sort of, I didn't think too much about it, and I just had to get these things done, and blah, 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 and boom, here I am in burnout. Right. So I had to think about, what are those things, and what are the things that I'm doing throughout my day, and where can I sort of realign my spoons, I guess. And so I realized that almost all, and when I say almost all, I mean like 98% of the things that I was doing that weren't smart choices, that were not in alignment with my life, were related to the work that I do around autism. I did not really mess up in my personal life, or even at the vet's office life, or any of those. That stuff was an okay spoon count, right? But taking on more private clients than I can, saying yes to more editing clients that I can, not wanting to disappoint people pleasing behavior, right? All of that shit. It just snuck all in, right? Because I was guard down with the seasonal affective disorder. So it was like a perfect storm. Now, as I'm coming back into it, what I want to think about is not doing it again. I don't want to recreate this scenario. So I have to make changes in what I was doing, which leads me to today. I want you to think about part of burnout recovery. An essential part of burnout recovery is reprioritizing your life and thinking about where you are giving your spoons away, where you made exceptions, where you're not going to do that anymore, and what things that you want to, that don't serve a purpose anymore, that you don't really want to be doing anymore, that you don't enjoy, right? And the way that I phrased that, and the way that I phrased it to myself is, what am I doing with my spoons that energizes me? And what am I doing with my spoons that depletes me? Does that make sense? right? So where was I spending spoons on things that energize me as a person and get me excited that I wanted to be at? And what was I doing that depleted me? Well, when I looked at that, what I realized is that I was doing a whole lot more of the things that deplete me than the things that energize me. And that's where the mistake begins, right? So as I prioritize my life, or prioritize period my life, I needed to ask myself those questions. What are those things, right? And so I want you to see this monster list that I have going on. It's like a monster. And that is not my monster list. That is the wrong list. So here's what it looks like. I mean, this is what the work looks like for people. That's so bad with the reflection. I'm sorry. But like you see, right? It's a huge list that it's just me on my phone in notes, only makes sense to me, right? And the things that I know energize me, having to related with work, because there are some things that I also need to tweak. Like I need more animal time and time outside, because I was spending too many spoons on this other stuff that was boundary breaking and wasting them over there. I didn't get as much animal time and outside time as I really need as a person, right? Because I didn't have it in me. But the things that energize me that I'm really working on right now are the book, the research, the quality of life research that I'm doing. I do info dump once a month with Doug, and I love it. It's so much fun. And Doug is a really good friend, and I enjoy my time with him. And so it energizes me to hang out with him for an hour and somebody else, right? And I enjoy teaching and doing public speaking. That doesn't take a lot of spoons for me. That's something that is relatively easy for me, right? So it's not draining, and it energizes me, right? When I get to teach people. Writing, right? And then on the personal side, reading, right? Stopped reading a lot in the last few months. I really needed to get back to it, right? And so in my list of things that I sort of looked at, in terms of draining things, I've decided that it's time to really ditch a lot of things, right? And I talked about what those things were that I want to ditch, and I'll repeat them really quick for you guys. But I got to stop doing networking meetings and podcast interviews for no reason. I can't work with NT clients anymore. It's really, really hard for me. Or not even just, they can be NT, but they need to have worked with another autistic person before. It's very, very hard for me. It drains a lot of spoons, and I don't have them to spare this year. And I had been undecided about what to do about the newsletter, and what to do about my YouTube channel, and what to do about social media, and the course and seminars, right? And that's where I kind of left you guys. And what I want to say is that as I sat down and really looked at my list, I was fucking stuck, like stupid stuck. So I did what I tell you guys to do, and I reached out for help. And I reached out for help to someone that knows me really well. And I had an appointment with her as a coach, and that helped me enormously. Just one session, right? It helped me clarify some things, right? And so here are the decisions that I've made about priority. So research and book are priority, right? And then behind that is going to lie the YouTube channel and social media. But I need help. I need help running my groups on social media. I need help, loading my social media with things, making the designs and the little memes and all of those things. I need help with that, because that takes time and energy that, if I do those things, doesn't leave me with the time and energy to do the other stuff that I have to do, including making sure I do my self-care, right? So I'm looking for help. I asked for help running my groups, and I've asked for help in a few other things, and I'm looking for help with my social media. And I really desperately need time away from my phone and computer and stuff like that, to be able to be strictly working on the things that I need to be working on. Okay. So that's that. Yesterday was officially the first day that I was able to write again, where it felt like me writing, right? Where I felt like myself, where I felt like I wanted to keep writing. So that's very exciting. Good news. The newsletter, you guys. I am going to take a break from the newsletter. I have taken things off my website. If you haven't been to my website in a hot bit, you should go over there, because I just went and like, whew, it was like I just said, I'm doing it over again, right? But I didn't. I just changed things up, and where you can find things and stuff like that. And I took off the things that I'm not going to be doing anymore, like one-on-ones. I'm sorry, you guys, but I just can't do them. They really drain me. More than one or two in a day, and more than one day a week of them, and I am spent, and I don't have the energy. So I am no longer taking one-on-one clients, unless, and the only exception is if you've taken the course. If you have taken the course, you can still schedule one-on-ones with me. But other than that, nothing. And the newsletter is going to go on hold for a bit, because I can't. I just don't have the brain space for it. I don't. And so if you are signed up for my newsletter and you receive it monthly and you're used to receiving it, please know there's going to be a little break in there. I'm going to be taking at least the rest of the year off from the newsletter, I think. And so know that if I do bring it back, you will still be signed up, and of course you will get the very first issue as I return. So you don't have to unsubscribe yourself. Just know that I won't be sending them out for the rest of this year, this calendar year. That's something else that had to go. And then what was the last thing? So the YouTube, I decided I don't want to lose my YouTube, but I needed to cut it. Right. So I ditched Growing Gratitude. I'm not doing 2 live streams a week anymore. I'm just doing Being Becca Live. And I'm doing myself the kindness that if 1 week I don't feel like going live on YouTube at this time, that I can upload a video. So there will be more uploads and less live streams, and different kind of content, I think, a little bit coming on here. We'll see. I don't know yet. But I'm definitely going down to the 1 live stream a week, which is right now. And then in terms of social media, do need to and want to keep my social media alive, and I don't want to leave it entirely. So what I've done is ask for assists on that. And so I'm asking for help on my social media with some people, and working on it that way. So those things that were undecided, some of them ended up getting eliminated, but not entirely, just sort of put on hold. And some of them are sort of being co-opted and changed a little bit and compromised. And then other stuff is just gonna be. And so I want to tell you that the recovery from burnout includes this work, right? What I just talked to you about, deciding what's staying, what's going, how much, how little, right? That is part of this recovery. And so I want you to think about how you prioritize your life, what you're prioritizing in your life, and is that setup still working for you, right? Or is it exhausting you? It's time to think about it. And I ask you to use the questions I used, because I found that approaching it energetically, I had different answers. Okay. So saying what things energize me in my life and what things don't energize me was the way to decide which were priorities, right, for me. And so it's an exercise I'd love you guys to try on your own and what works for you. Yeah, see, Bernard is saying last week he was struggling to read and write, and the weather has been bad, and right. So all of that stuff affects us, and we need to remember that those signs, the signs that we're struggling to do things that are normally easy for us, like reading and writing for Bernard, is a sign that you might be headed into burnout, that your spoons are sort of depleted in the wrong way, and you're not having the energy to do the things that you love. And that's why I say ask the questions, what energizes me? Because we should do as much of the things that energize us as possible, right? So that we make use of our spoons in a wise way. And so for those of you out there that have agreed to help me thus far, thank you so much. For those of you that I'm going to be asking in the near future, I thank you so much. It's really hard asking for help. We all know that. And so knowing that I need help and that I must actually ask for it in order to get accomplished what I want to get accomplished, and in order to live the life that I want to create, I need help. I can't do it alone. And so the way through this burnout for me is with where I'm prioritizing the things that energize me and asking for help with the things that don't. And that's where I'm headed in terms of burnout recovery. So that's what I've got for you guys today. I am all about getting better from this recovery and all about using my spoons wisely. And I think sharing this journey with you is using my spoons wisely. I think understanding how I'm processing through it is a way for me to model for you guys how you can process through it for you next time. And so I hope that all works. And I hope you guys are still enjoying what I'm doing with live and that you'll still join me, even though it's only one live stream a week for right now. You can always reach out to me and ask me questions, set up one-on-ones if you're an SDL student only, and a few other things by using my email address, info@beccalaurie.com, or just heading to the website, which is newfangled right now, that you can go check out the changes on beccalaurie.com. Both of those things are down below in the description of the video, so you don't have to look far for them. As always, your thumbs up and thumbs down mean that I know whether the content has been good or bad or pleasing or otherwise. And I do enjoy your comments and talking to you about the videos that I post. So please make sure you stick some comments down below so that we can have a little chitty chat about what are the things that I'm sharing. And if you really dig my shirt, of course, you can always head over to the Self-Defined Living store on Redbubble, which is also linked down below. Until next week, you guys, I say get out there and create joy, share joy, and what did I just say? Seek joy, create joy, share joy, all the joys. And I will be back here next Wednesday at 11 Mountain Standard Time for the next Being Becca Live. Until then, farewell. I will see you out and about on the interwebs. Bye.